Hello, my name is Sasha. In this video, I want to show you how to make this simple sidebar using Bootstrap. As you can see, when the screen size changes, the sidebar will act responsively. And by clicking this button, you can toggle the sidebar. This also works for the small screen. By clicking the button, you can open or hide the sidebar. And now, without further ado, let's get started. Start by creating an index.html file, and then type exclamation mark, hit enter. Change the title to Bootstrap Sidebar, and refresh. Because we are using Bootstrap for the project, so go to the introduction page of Bootstrap. Grab the link, copy and paste it in the head of the HTML file. Now we need to write in the body area. But before we start it, it's better to examine the page first to have an idea of the structure. So you can see that the top is a div, and there are two divs at the left and the right side. So there are two parts. And with that in mind, so first of all, create a top level div, give it an ID wrapper to contain everything. And inside, there's a div for the sidebar, give it an ID called sidebar wrapper. And there's another big part is the right side, the content part, so give it an ID content wrapper. So now we have the structure. We can leave the content page for now, just focus on the sidebar. For the sidebar, there's a heading. For the heading, we use a div with an ID sidebar heading. And for this heading, I just put example for now. And then refresh this page. You can see the heading there. Now let's keep on making the menu list. Use a div, give it a class name list group. It's a Bootstrap class to create this menu list. For the menu items, they are all links. So we can use a Bootstrap class name list group item, and each one use an A tag. For the link, we just put a hashtag now. And let's create the first menu item called home. And then just copy and make 5 of them. Change each name. After refresh the page, you can see that we already have this menu list. And if you look at this, there's a line at the right side of the sidebar. So let's use a Bootstrap class to achieve that. So to do that with Bootstrap, you just simply add a border right to the sidebar wrapper. And now refresh. We should be able to see the border. To style the sidebar a bit more, we just need to create a separate style sheet. Name it style.css to style the sidebar a bit more. But before that, the first thing we need to do is to embed the style sheet into the HTML file. Because I'm putting them in the same folder, so just put the style.css here. And first of all, let's give the sidebar wrapper a width. Here I give it a width of 18 rem, and you can see the result there. And give it a height of 100 VH as well. And refresh. Oh, we already have this line, and the width of the sidebar is good. And next is the heading. For the heading, we wanted to have a bigger box, so we use padding to achieve that. So give a padding of 3 rem. Refresh. You can see that it has a bigger box now, and then we want to make the text stay in the middle, so use a text align center. You can simply achieve that, and beautiful. The next thing is the menu list. We don't want to see this border here around the list group div. And we also need to make the icons. So just go to the index.html. You can use the Bootstrap class to achieve this. So give it a class name list group flash, and you can see it get rid of the borders and make it better this way. And for each of the items in the menu list, we can give them another Bootstrap class named list group item action. So you can see it has this nice hover effect and without this underlined text. So let's just copy and paste to the rest of them. And then refresh. You can see that they all have this nice hover effect. And what we need to do now is to add the icons. For this, I use Font Awesome free icons. What I do is to grab this link from Font Awesome website and to embed it into the HTML file, and then you'll be able to use the Font Awesome class. Just make sure to get the latest version. Once you did that, you can go to the Font Awesome website to search for your icons. So take the first one for example. Just in the search area, put home. And you also want to get the free ones. So copy this link and simply just put it in front of the text and refresh it. We already got this nice icon, and we just need to repeat this for the rest of them. And then refresh the page. You can see all the icons are there, and there's also a space between icon text. To do this, just select all the icons inside the sidebar wrapper. All the icons have the same class name, if es. give it a padding right 1 rem, and it will make a nice space between them. And now we just need to make this background. I'll copy and paste the image inside the folder. To add the background, just go inside the sidebar wrapper and use background image, use URL. Here just put the path to the image. Here's /style.css. And refresh. After refresh, you can see that the image is not looking nice like this. So I just change the background size to cover, and it looks beautiful in that way. And you can see the list group is blocking the sidebar. We just needed to make it transparent. Use the background color transparent within the list group item, and now it's all good. And next thing is to make all the text color white. And also the border color, we use a color of #DDD. Oh good, now we have finished to make this sidebar part. It's a nice sidebar. And what we haven't done is the right side, the content wrapper. Let's check the page and see what's up. So we need to make the button first. So within the div, create a button. Use the Bootstrap class name btn and the btn primary. And that will create a button for us. Refresh the page. You can see there's a button but nothing inside. I need to get the icon for that. So it is a double left arrow. So grab the link and put it inside the button. Now refresh again. The next thing is to make a div to wrap the content of the page, the right side page. So we use a Bootstrap class called container fluid, and we also make it a flexbox, deflex, and direction column, flex column. Inside it, there's a h1 title, so just use h1 tag with the word Hollywood inside. And now we have the h1 title. Then just make a p tag with some words inside. And now we've got the content. And I just want to center the text, the title and the text in the middle. By this, I can just use the Bootstrap class align items center. And now it's in the center. Now you can see like the sidebar has, the white has been squeezed because it's not 100%. So in this group item, I put a white of 18 RAM as well. Now refresh, it will take up the whole white of 18 RAM. Now we have made a static page, but there's no responsive behavior yet. So we cannot do that by using a CSS media. So add media and max width 768 pixels. So that means when the width of the screen is less than 768 pixels. And now we want to select the sidebar. Use the sidebar wrapper ID and then use a margin left of minus 18 rem because the sidebar's width is 18 rem. So if we use a minus 18 rem, it will push the sidebar away from the screen, and this is how it works. And next thing we want to add is for the button. I want to add a class name once the button is clicked. So add a function before the body tag. We want to add a function inside the button tag. So go to the button tag. Add an on-click events. And for this button function, we call it toggle. So within the function area, write the function toggle. Use the ES6 arrow function. And inside the function, we want to select the sidebar wrapper document.get element by ID and put the ID of the sidebar inside the parentheses, which is the sidebar wrapper. And then to add a class, dot class list, and the toggle class dot toggle. And we want to add a class named toggled, and that's how the function should be. Let's see if it's working inside the page. So inspect the page, find the sidebar wrapper, and click the button. And you can see the toggle is inside the class. So do it again, it will disappear. So it is working just the way we want it to be. And then within the CSS file, we want to select the toggled elements. So select the sidebar wrapper as well as the toggled class name. So hashtag sidebar wrapper dot toggled. That will select the toggled class. And it also means you already clicked the button. So in the small screen, we wanted to open the sidebar. So instead of using a minus 18 rem, we use a 0. So click the button, it will open. Click again, it will hide. And what we haven't done is for on a large screen, the button should be able to toggle. So we also use a media. Now it's the width bigger than 768 pixels. So mean width 769 pixels. And here do the same thing, select the sidebar, use the ID sidebar wrapper, as well as the toggled class or the flag. that means you click the button. And here we wanted to hide the sidebar, so margin left minus 18 rem will do the job. And finally, let's check the button to see if it's working. Click it, click again. It works just the way we want. It can toggle the sidebar on a large screen, and that's pretty much everything about the sidebar. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.